Hello, everybody, and welcome to Data 2030 Summit 21 in its fifth edition. I am Mohamed Ghazala, and I welcome you for today's session, which is Unlock the Repository of Effective Data Strategy and Cloud Transformation. Allow me to gently introduce myself. I'm now leading the data architecture and governance in one of the biggest banks in Egypt. And for the last 10 years, I have been involved in many huge projects in banking sector here in Egypt, including data warehousing, data management, integration, data quality, and data governance. I would like to thank Sarenda and the team for hosting this session, and I would like to thank the audience for being here today, and we can have a few minutes at the end of the session for Q&As. Let's start with our key notes of today. We will discuss the key components of the effective data strategy. Data is an asset and must be governed. Cloud migration and transformation on private or hybrid cloud, and machine learning and AI cloud-based services. Our strategic goal is the data value. The data value itself empowers the organization for the transformation and increasing the performance. So all the stakeholders and the cooperators will gain more experience by the data value. You can develop new services and products that meets the business needs. It responds to the revolution of any technology industrial revolution. So nowadays, for the technology of the big data, IoT, blockchain, Internet of Things, and all this stuff has the data as its core. It also reduces risks and increases business performance. So why we need a data strategy? The data strategy is a vehicle that ensures the organization is driving in its strategic way, and it increases the value of the business. It's like the mechanism of making well-governed data available and accessible to the whole organization. So we can say that it's the toolkit to measure the value of the data from the business perspective. It's very, very important to align your data strategy with the whole organization strategy and to align with the business strategy and the business architecture. So nowadays, any digital transformation strategy is built on an effective data strategy. So you have to reflect the organization strategy with your data strategy. And as mentioned, it is the main pillar of success of any digital strategy. So in this diagram, we can see that it's a complement of the organization strategy. And a proper modern data architecture should be derived from the data strategy to complement it. Actually, there is 4 basic elements for an effective data strategy. First thing is you have to set your goals and objectives. Actually, understand each value of the data, each element, and treat the data as the organization assets. The second element is the data architecture, which is the brain of mapping all the sources to be consolidated in one single point of truth. And you have to consider modern data architecture in your strategy, not traditional ways. The third element is data management, which is the comprehensive understanding of where you're gonna store the data, how you're gonna process this data, and provide your organization with the perfect analytics. And the very important basic element is data governance. You know, some people, when they listen to the word governance, they feel like it's like audit, it's like regulations, but it's totally different. It's how you gonna protect your data, how you gonna make data retention strategies, how is the data is secured, and how is the matrix of the accessibility of the data, how you are complying with the global regulations like the GDPR or your country data protection law. And to be honest, without a proper data governance framework or methodology, it will be hard to implement an effective data strategy. We can divide the data strategy into 5 main components. First one is to identify your data. Understand the data and its meaning. Without a business glossary and metadata, it will be hard to know your data. Provision the data. How are you gonna share your data and make it available, accessible to the whole organization in order to deliver the value of the data? And the third component is to store the data. Where are you going to store the data? How are you going to manage the huge amount of data, the various sources, the different types of data? So nowadays, our modern architecture techniques recommend us to go Hadoop and store your data on HDFS and use big data platforms as your storage. How are you going to integrate your data? The fourth component is integrating your data. So our target is to reach single point of truth, to bring the data in one place, process and analyze the data, and build business intelligence for fastening the decision making. And the third component is, again, govern your data. The data is the organization's asset, and it should be owned by the business. And data should be protected and secured. So when we say a data evolution in any organization, it usually starts with data disengagement or low understanding of the importance of the data value. Rarely use the data in decision making. Then you go to the technology enablement or the data enablement. So use technology, proper data architecture, start like look on the people, how they think about data, the data culture itself, the optimization of the process. Then you will go to the level of a data-driven organization. So data-driven is equivalent to the data assets. We are a data-driven organization. We are depending on the data and the analytics by all means. So we can illustrate the current state in most of the organization and its complexity. And for sure, we are in many business needs, and there is a rapid um, requirements from the business, and the data volume is growing very quickly and many different sources, and businesses start to depend on the data. But mainly when it comes to a complexity model of this current state, we'll find that many organizations are struggling to build an effective data strategy, to go to the business driven strategy and leveraging their data assets. And it's not easy to reach the goal of a data driven. The data architectures and models sometimes fail to deliver the real measurable business impact and value and the ROI. So, in order to build a robust and comprehensive data strategy, we have to start with the business strategy, the whole organization objectives and goals, and business drivers from the digitization way. So build a strategy, an effective data strategy that have a mission and vision, build a data strategy roadmap, and as I mentioned, complementing your business strategy and organization strategy. Then have a look on the tools, the data management tools, and the risk and challenges behind the culture. So you have to understand what is the current culture. What is the data management capabilities? How the people roles and organization charts are using this data. So focus on the people at first. See these people are using which applications and systems, and these systems are having databases and data sets, and then try to have your business glossary and data dictionary and mapping documents for these databases. And at the end, you will transform with the data. You will fasten the decision making in the whole organization by being data driven. And it's very important to generate changing analytics and have a foundation of machine learning and advanced analytics and AI in your strategy. And we will see how we will reach from the descriptive analysis to prescriptive analysis. And in order to have a strong, comprehensive data strategy, you have to build your data governance framework. So it's simply the data enablement. It starts with the enterprise governance, business strategy, and data strategy. Then you have to focus on, it starts from the data leadership, that you have to focus on the data ownership and the stewardship, and who owns this data, who is responsible in this data. Try to make a racing matrix if you can. Try to define the data owners and the stewards and the business owners and the technical business owners. That is very important to identify this ownership. And then have a data management capability and techniques. Modern data management is used nowadays in applying data governance framework. Then look at the data literacy and the culture as mentioned in the data strategy. It's very important to know that how the people is thinking about the data and how there are, whether they are believing or not, the data will transform the organization. And you have to protect your data, so you have to build your data privacy and security policies and procedures in order to govern this data and secure the data, make it the data retention policy, data entry policy, data management policy. These kind of policies will try to protect your data from the loss. So it's defining the accountability and responsibility, building a common knowledge and understanding that the data is an asset, trust the high quality of data, and make data trend analysis in order to improve your quality of data. Then you will reduce your organization data debt and improve here the data ROI, and for sure support the business and organization fasting decision making and data driven culture. So McKinsey once a time said that a healthy data culture is a key to amplifying the power of your data. So we have to ask ourselves, what does it look like? Does everybody know the data? Did everybody trust this data? Does everybody talks about the data the same language? So growing a data architecture, data culture is not easy. It's like planting a seed. At the first beginning, it's natural planting a bean, then evolve in order to have the tree. So this landscape must be evolved. It's the business culture, and it's not easy, by the way. It's changing a culture. A data-driven culture requires several elements. It's highlighted in these four elements: high quality of data, data literacy, data-driven decision-making processes, and effective communication. So we have to make a single point of truth, trusted single source for all the organization that can depend on. Business glossary and data dictionary is very important that make us know what the data means and how the data is stored and all the stuff like that. And leverage the data. Make the data analytics tool leverage to the whole organization. So the concept of services capability. Build a service capability. Let all employees design their own reports, and they can access the data according to the ownership we mentioned. And make a data literacy, the ability to collect, manage, and evaluate the data in a critical manner, change the culture. And for sure, that is the integration of decision-making process. Data-driven culture is data as an asset. So it's data-driven that builds the tools, skills, and capabilities for users to trust the data. It use the data in decision-making. And building a data culture is an ongoing investment, time and effort. And it's not easy to achieve a transformation without data literacy. So let's talk about how you're going to collect your data. It's from my point of view, we can say like it's building a pyramid as an agent. So you start with the let's say the customer data, the products data. So you've built the pyramid of the structured data, and then go and see the channels, the logs, the web clicking, and all this stuff, and you are building the semi-structured data. Then go to the unstructured data, the social media, the big tech data. So while you are building the pyramid, focus on delivering this type of analysis, starting from the descriptive, which is what is the current state of the data, then the diagnostic analysis, how is this current state, and then go to the predictive analysis, machine learning models, regression models, prediction, forecasting for your business. And then the prescriptive analysis. So in order to do this prediction, how you are going to do it as a recommendation from your analytics and insight. So for sure, it will be very, very useful for your organization. So start with this way. And building a data management platform can also use this kind of methodology by building this kind of pyramid. At the first, you have to explore the data, identify all the sources, define the main sources, metadata, business glossary, data catalog, and profiling. Then start building your data platform. And in the modern data architectures platform, it's recommended to depend on ELT rather than ETL. So get the data as it is, build the data lake, integrate all the sources in one single point of truth, build ELT, and you can have some ETLs, design your data model. So for examples, you will build a Hadoop environment, ingest all data in HDFS, model an enterprise data hub or data lakes inside your platform. Then start using the data warehousing process. Store the data, integrate the data in all sources by modeling and developing an information model for the whole organization in aggregated level. For example, financial and reporting information model, historical archiving, and dimension models. Then on the top of this pyramid, you have to enable machine learning and data science, build your predictive models, dashboarding and analytics, and services and BI, including machine learning and advanced analytics, will be very useful to your organization. So, the data is moving to the cloud? Actually, we are in an era of massive collection of data and a huge amount of sources and traditional data types, social media, mobile devices, sensors. So this is where big data analytics take place and it finds useful information. Cloud computing can be viewed as one of the most valuable technology in handling and providing infrastructure as a services and the services. Cloud computing can be viewed as the technology that can handling this type of services by giving infrastructure as a services and that can have the cost-effective techniques for storage and analysis of big data. So its characteristics is the shared infrastructure. It's sharing physical servers, services, storage, networking, and it's shared across one virtual software model. So we can have dynamic provisioning, network access, and managing and monitoring. So when we speak about cloud services model, we will have infrastructure as a services, which is the main principle that is based on cloud computing that can facilitate and leverage infrastructure for the company in just few minutes. Software as a services, which is applications that are based on cloud services models. Platform as a services, which is whole platform and application with a database and infrastructure and all this stuff. Also storage as a services and data as a services, which is analytics services that are served on cloud-based models. And we will see X as a services. We will have many services on cloud-based. So there are different deployment models for cloud. Private clouds, which is, for example, held for banks and governance in order to ensure more security and avoid more security issues and that are currently available in the cloud services. Public cloud that are owned by big techs or organizations that can operate and provision services as mentioned, but for public, it's like Amazon, Microsoft Azure, SunCloud, Google Cloud, and IBM Cloud. And we have hybrid cloud technology, which is the integration between private cloud and hybrid cloud. So you can have some unnecessary or public data that can be published on cloud-based, public cloud-based. And if you have sensitive data, you will host it on your private cloud. So the important cloud infrastructure and requirements and challenges that is still in the cloud computing is elasticity, scalability, security, dynamicity, performance, operational efficiency, reliability, and latency. So this actually is a kind of challenges that still facing some of the organizations for having cloud infrastructure. Machine learning can be part from in the cloud services, AI and machine learning. We are watching now cloud machine learning like Google Cloud Machine Learning, AWS Machine Learning, Azure Machine Learning. They are platforms that can serve you having your and hosting your machine learning models. Also, AI cloud services, which is giving you the machine learning algorithm hosted on this cloud services, which is like IBM Watson, which is using in the NLP, natural language processing, for chatbots, and Microsoft Cognitive Services, Google Cloud Vision. All of this are building their machine learning models and algorithms. Then you can leverage it and expose it through API integrations. So summarizing our session, effective data strategy and data transformation, it starts from data leadership and partnership. You have to build your data strategy with alignment with the business strategy, proper data management and governance methodology and framework, modern data architecture, cloud computing, machine learning, and AI. So it's very important to have team principles. Actually, we use standards models like DAMA, Gartner, McKinsey, And we built our internal team principles in order to make attunement or harmony for the team. We focus on to have our activities quick and easy, discover, understand, maintain, and govern, easy design, easy approach, but with delivering a value. So we focus on delivering quickly sprints, weekly or monthly. Be flexible with our customers and business, make repeated iterations, and so on. And it's very important to ensure your quality of data. So define your data quality measurements and rules. Make data quality improvements. Monitor your quality trend analysis, and um, you will have more fasten decision making when the data is more have high quality. At the end, it's very important to have your R&D. Let the team do researches, continuous researches. Let this is apart from the work, studying, self-study, their personal development, their mental development. It's very important to have your R&D because this technology is going and upgrading all the time. At the end, I would like to thank you and for any information. You have my contacts, and thank you very much. And